Have you ever wondered why humans possess a tailbone, yet no tail? As we probe the past, let's embark on a journey into our evolutionary history, specifically zooming in on a small but significant part of our anatomy. The tailbone, or as it's scientifically known, the coccyx. This tiny structure nestled at the base of our spines is a fascinating testament to our ancient ancestors and the path we, as a species, have tread. Our story begins millions of years ago when our primate ancestors were swinging from tree to tree. Back then, a tail was not just an appendage but a critical tool for survival. It provided balance, aided in climbing, and even served as a fifth limb in some cases. As we moved through the epochs, however, our ancestors began to spend more time on the ground, walking upright, and the need for a tail dwindled. What we're left with today is the vestigial tailbone, a structure that once held great importance but now serves a different purpose. The tailbone, much like an echo from the past, is a remnant of our tailed forebears. It's a testament to the tail that our ancestors once sported, a tail that many other mammals to this day still possess. But don't be fooled into thinking the tailbone is now just an evolutionary relic. While we no longer use it for balance or swinging from trees, the coccyx has found a new lease on life in the human body. It now serves as an anchor point for various muscles and ligaments in the pelvic region. It's a crucial component of our anatomy, supporting us as we sit and aiding in our mobility. So, our tailbone, this small, seemingly insignificant bone, is actually a remarkable piece of our evolutionary puzzle. It's a silent reminder of our past, a versatile tool in our present, and perhaps an intriguing hint at our future. So, from our ancestors swinging in trees to our modern-day sedentary lifestyles, the tailbone has been with us every step of the way. But did you know? Our tailbones are actually growing. Yes, that's right. That small triangular bone at the base of your spine, also known as the coccyx, is gradually becoming larger. This isn't something out of a science fiction novel. It's real, and it's happening right now. So what's the science behind this phenomenon? Well, it all comes down to our genes and evolution. Genetic mutations, those tiny little changes in our DNA, are one of the driving forces behind this growth. Some people are born with genes that make their tailbones grow larger than average. It's a natural variation, just like having blue eyes or being left-handed. But why would such a mutation persist? Why wouldn't natural selection weed it out? One theory suggests it's due to evolutionary pressures. You see, our ancestors had tails which gradually disappeared as we evolved to walk upright. But now, certain pressures might be causing our tailbones to grow once more. Perhaps it's a response to our increasingly sedentary lifestyles. Sitting for long periods puts pressure on the tailbone, and over time, this could stimulate growth. However, it's important to note that this isn't a universal trend. Not everyone's tailbone is getting bigger, but it does occur in a significant portion of the population. And it's not just a curiosity, it could have real implications for our health and our understanding of human evolution. So, what does this mean for you? Well, for one, it's a reminder of our evolutionary past. Every time you sit down, you're literally sitting on a piece of history, but it also points to a fascinating future. If our tailbones continue to grow, who knows what changes we might see in the human body over the next few centuries. So, the next time you sit down, remember, you're sitting on a piece of human evolution that's still underway. Now, let's imagine a future where this growth continues. Could humans eventually grow tails? A fascinating question indeed. As our tailbones keep growing, the impact on our bodies could be significant. Firstly, consider our posture. The human body is a marvel of balance and symmetry. Our spines, which include the tailbone, form the central structure that supports our entire body. If the tailbone were to grow larger, it would shift this delicate balance. We might need to adapt our stance, our walk, even our sitting position to accommodate this change. Now think about our movement. A larger tailbone could potentially provide us with more balance and agility, much like many animals use their tails for. On the other hand, a larger tailbone might be cumbersome and restrict our movements, especially in tight spaces. Then there's the question of health. A growing tailbone might affect the surrounding muscles and nerves, potentially leading to discomfort or pain. It could also put pressure on the lower back, leading to long-term health issues. But could this growth lead to a re-emergence of a physical tail in humans? Some experts believe it's a possibility. They argue that if the tailbone keeps growing at its current rate, it might eventually protrude outside the body. This could be the start of a new human tail. Other experts, however, are skeptical. They point out that evolution doesn't work in a straight line. Just because our tailbones are growing doesn't mean we'll sprout tails. After all, the tailbone's growth might stop or even reverse at some point. Regardless of these debates, one thing is clear. Our bodies are not static. They're shaped by a myriad of factors, from our genes to our environment. And as these factors change, so too will our bodies. Whether we're heading towards a future with tails or just larger tailbones, one thing is certain: our bodies are constantly evolving. So, let's keep an open mind and see where this fascinating journey of evolution takes us. But what does this mean for us right now? Are there any health implications tied to our growing tailbones? Let's delve into the world of tailbone troubles. As our tailbones grow larger, they could potentially cause us some discomfort. You see, the tailbone, or coccyx, is the final segment of the vertebral column. It serves as an attachment site for tendons, ligaments, and muscles. It also functions as an important component of the weight-bearing tripod structure that provides us stability when we sit. Now imagine if this small structure starts to grow bigger. It could potentially affect how we sit, causing discomfort and even pain. This is because a larger tailbone might put more pressure on the surrounding tissues, resulting in inflammation and discomfort. It's like having an awkwardly placed rock in your shoe that you can't remove. Moreover, a growing tailbone could also lead to back pain. The spine is a finely tuned structure that maintains our posture and allows us to move smoothly. Any changes in its components, such as a growing tailbone, could disrupt this delicate balance. This disruption might lead to strain in the lower back muscles, causing pain. But it's not all doom and gloom. Researchers are actively studying these changes and their implications. They are striving to understand better the effects of a larger tailbone on our health. This research could lead to effective strategies to manage and mitigate any potential problems. The key here is adaptation. Just as our bodies have evolved over millions of years, we can also adapt to these changes, whether by adjusting our sitting habits, modifying our exercise routines, or even innovating medical treatments. In the grand scheme of things, the tailbone's growth might even be seen as a testament to our ability to evolve and adapt. It's a fascinating glimpse into our past, present, and potentially our future. So, while our growing tailbones may be a sign of our evolutionary past, they also present new challenges for our present and future. As we conclude, it's worth asking, would a tail really be such a bad thing? Imagine for a moment living in a world where humans have tails. Sounds a bit surreal, doesn't it? But let's take a moment to entertain this notion. First up, the advantages. A tail could potentially offer a whole new level of balance and agility. Picture the grace and precision of a cat landing on its feet, or the swift, nimble movements of a monkey swinging through the trees. A tail could give us an extra point of contact, a counterbalance, and maybe even a new way to express emotion. Just like our furry friends, we could wag our tails in joy, or tuck them between our legs in fear. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The emergence of a tail could also bring about its own set of challenges. For one, we would need to rethink our clothing design. Imagine trying to zip up your jeans with a tail in the way. And let's not forget about the potential health problems. Just like any other body part, a tail would be susceptible to injury and disease. And then there's the social aspect to consider. How would we perceive each other if we had tails? Would it become a new standard of beauty, or a source of discrimination? Would people start having tail enhancement surgeries? These are all questions that we can't answer yet, but it's interesting to ponder. At the end of the day, whether you're thrilled by the prospect of swinging from tree to tree, or horrified by the thought of tail-related health issues, it's all hypothetical. But it's these kind of thought experiments that push the boundaries of our understanding and keep the scientific discourse alive. Whether you're for or against the idea of humans growing tails, one thing is clear: our tailbones are a fascinating testament to our evolutionary journey.